What is up, everybody? My name is Soundkage, and today we're going to be ranking all of the Susano from weakest to strongest. But the very first thing we need to go over is what is a Susano and how do you get a Susano? A Susano, in a nutshell, is essentially a warrior chakra manifestation created by the Uchiha clan member that can come in all sorts of different sizes along with all sorts of abilities. Who's able to use Susano, though? Simply put, it's any Uchiha member that has unlocked both Mangekyo.
But Madara used Susano when he was blind. DMS Kakashi isn't even Uchiha. Sasuke has one Rinnegan, how come he could use Susano?
Best way I can put it is that there are just some exceptions to the rules. At the end of the day, who cares? You clicked on this video to hear me rank these from weakest to strongest, not go over why Kishimoto just has bad writing sometimes. And with that being said, there is one more elephant we have to address in the room. And that elephant is that Shisui Susano is not canon, never has been, and never will. Now, I do think that it's cool that when this thing was put in the Storm games, Kishimoto was actually the person that drew it, but at the end of the day, it's not incorporated into any sort of canon storyline, therefore we're not going to be including it because, by definition, it is completely featless. Moving on to the actual canon Susanos, coming in last and fourth place is going to be Hitachi's Susano. And I'm not trying to say that this thing's completely weak or anything, it truly is just a midget in comparison to the other Susanos that are going to be on this list. In fact, if we compare Itachi's size of his Susano to other ones, his is about the size of a 3-story house, whereas Madara's, Sasuke's, and Kakashi's are probably about the size of the Eiffel Tower, if not bigger. In fact, I can give you a good idea if this one came in contact with one of the other ones on this list. Unlike other Susanos on the list, though, Itachi's does have a couple of cheat codes. Example number 1 being the Yadamir that a lot of people seem to think is indestructible, but if you pause and read the description, it sounds a lot more like Truth Seeker orbs and that this thing reflects different chakra natures to cancel out whatever's being thrown at it, meaning that it more than likely only works against ninjutsu in the first place. The Susano also comes with another spiritual weapon called the Totsuko Blade, which works in tandem with the gourd that's on the Susano's elbow. Essentially, if somebody is stabbed with the Totsuko Blade, their soul is transported into the gourd, and the gourd is described to be an afterlife filled with drunkenness, whatever that means. In a nutshell, my boy Nagato is in desperate need of an AA meeting in the afterlife. Unfortunately, with all these broken powers that come along with this Susano, it is short in comparison to the other ones by a very large margin, and the person using it is suffering from a major chakra deficiency due to his illness. Moving on, at the number 3 spot, we have Madara Uchiha. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be either mad or confused about this placement, but hopefully you can understand and actually give me a break. And I can quite literally see it in the comments right now. I'm foreshadowing it. Somebody's going to be like, Madara at number 3? Sankage, what the f? I mean, truth be told, if we compare this thing to other perfect Susanos, it quite literally has nothing going for it. In fact, the only thing that it had going for it to begin with was that it had 4 arms, but unfortunately, when Kishimoto drew the perfect version, it did not have 4 arms. It only had 2, which I completely understand. You're trying to show it off as this massive body and make it look really impressive and almost respectable, but at the same time, I don't quite understand why you gave all the other perfect Susanos like special abilities and powers, and this thing only has 2 swords. And by the way, yes, it has 2, but for some weird reason, whenever you see it pull the sword at the end of this clip, it goes back to having 1. I don't know if this is bad animation or what the deal was whenever they were doing this scene, but I just don't know. What I do know is what this Susanoo has, every other Susanoo above it has on the list, so if you think this one ranks any higher, you're either wanking off Madara or blue's your favorite color. Coming in at second place, we have Sasuke Uchiha. Now, I'm putting his Susano above Madara's because it has the same exact arsenal, but also has a weapon that Madara's doesn't. And that something is range. Sasuke literally has a crossbow attached to his Susano, which makes it to where without using some sort of external jutsu, he can hit his opponents from afar, where Madara can't. Not to mention, my boy can literally infuse Amaterasu with this shit. Not like that jutsu did anything, though. Now, if you want to put Sasuke at the number 1 spot because you're including the Final Valley Susano, then by all means do so. I think you have a very good argument for that. However, the analogy that I see with that would be like you find out that a bodybuilder is juicing a shit ton of steroids and you still give him first place in the competition. Just doesn't feel right doing so. Coming in at number 1, which has to be by far the best Susano on the list, is DMS Kakashi's. And before any of you idiots start saying dumb shit in the comments like, well, they're Obito's eyes, so it's technically Obito Susano. This logic doesn't make sense because Sasuke has Hitachi's eyes and Madara has Izuna's, which, if you're going by this logic, means that they don't own their own Susanos, they belong to their brothers. And regardless over arguing over some dumb shit, this is by far one of the strongest things in all of Naruto. Going over its abilities, this thing is intangible. Quite literally, it's untouchable. It's practically like Muhammad Ali in his prime. Moving on to its other ability, this thing quite literally has Kamui-infused shurikens. These fidget spinners of death quite literally have durability negation. Like, anything that they touch gets sucked away to the Kamui dimension. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. They literally cut one of Kaguya's arms off. Now, would I consider this cheating like the Sasuke thing? Yes. But do I like it? Also yes, which is why I'm allowing it. Now, don't get me wrong, I agree. My man Kakashi definitely skipped a couple steps of the criteria of leveling up a Susano. And that's pretty much going to do it for this topic. I really do appreciate everybody that stuck around for the whole video, and if you're not already doing so, I would highly appreciate it if you all subscribed. Also, I have been trying to up the quality of my videos and spending a lot more time editing, and I'm sorry it took me so long to put out this video, and I'll be trying to be on a normal schedule of once every 2 weeks until I move out and get a new computer. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank all of you for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. This has been Sound Kage. Peace.